All right, thanks everybody for coming today. My name is Vinicius Garmats. I work for IBM as a product manager in the Maximo application suite side, mainly focus on Maximo Mobile. Let me do a quick round of introductions here. Joao.
Hi, my name is João. I am from the product management team. I work with Vinicius. Uh, work most of the time on the platform side of mobile, native applications, transactions, offline databases. This is the area that I spend more time.
Thomas.
Yeah, hi, I'm Thomas Knowles. I'm also a product manager, work on the same team with Joao and Vinicius. I'm responsible for some of the apps and the functionality that's delivered, mainly around service request and the inventory applications that are part of Maximo Mobile now.
And Steven.
Hello, I'm Steven Shull. I'm on the technical sales team, working with the Maximum Mobile offering team.
All right, so we have 25 minutes today. It's a short time to the amount of things that we have to show you today. Let's really go straight to the point. I'm really sharing my screen here. And what we are seeing in the screen is actually my iPad that gets mirrored to my screen so you can see it. Maximo Mobile. So if you really go to an application store today, and that's where you find the Maximo Mobile application, you actually have two options available there. So let's start really from here. We have an icon, a white one called Maximo, IBM Maximo Mobile, which is really the app that is intended to connect to the application suite version Maximo 8. But as we mentioned during previous sessions, you also have another option here, the black one called IBM Maximo Mobile for EAM, which is really intended to work on a Maximo 7.6 instance. So if you are really running 7.612 or 7.613 Maximo today, you can use Maximo Mobile with your existing instance. So that's how we advise customers really to do the license migration to application points. And at that point in time, you were really ready to start leveraging Maximo Mobile in the existing version that you have. So Maximo Mobile really have no extra cost. It's part of the license that you have from now on. Uh, and if you do the conversion, you can install the Maximo Mobile piece with the 7.612 at least. So let me really open the 7.6 version, and I can highlight really some of the little differences that we have and how the architecture that we have in place right now can accommodate these these capabilities according to the environment that you are using. So depending on the maximal authentication type that I have configured, we can either present a login page to you here or really redirect it to your organization page. Maybe, Joao, can you explain a little bit what we support in terms of authentication while I'm logging in here?
Sure. We support different authentication methods with Maximo Mobile. In case of using that with 7.6, we support single sign-on, LDAP, and basic Maximo authentication. For mass, we support OIDC between the application and mass and all the different methods that are available from mass to the other, with the other authentication methods that are available there.
Mhm. All right, and after you log in, you will really get redirected to what we call Navigator. Let me do a pause here because my Navigator here in my environment that I'm using really have lots of things, and let me explain a little bit about how this works. Whatever you are seeing here inside Navigator today is now considered a hybrid application. Being a hybrid application means that the same capabilities can also be accessed from Maximo in the go-to menu. So here we have inspections, work approvals, service requests, and you will see that the same capability can be used in a browser, in a connected mode, or really from the mobile application in a connected or in a disconnected mode. So if I'm really going offline, I'm losing connection, I'm able to continue working the same way I was working before. The whole data that is needed to support the application is there. Just to give an example, keep this screen in mind here. And since they are really listed in the go-to menu, what we have is really the same security settings that we apply to Maximo, uh, being uh, affecting actually the users that we have in mobile. So that one, for example, is what we call the Technician app. And similar to any other application, and I can come in here and say, okay, which user will have access to this application or not. And these settings will affect not just the go-to menu, but the things that I'm really seeing here in Navigator. So let's really start the journey today. And let's assume here that I'm really a maintenance planner. So I'm really going to a work order, for example, and I have one of my queries here saying, okay, these are really the work orders uh, that I will be working today. Out of the box, we really configure Maximo Mobile to use assignments. So if I really have an approved work order assigned to me, in this case, I should be able to see it in Maximo Mobile. This is highly configurable. I can configure whatever is the criteria that I want to make this record available to my mobile device. So once I open really my schedule here, you see that first time the application will really try and get all the data that I need to work in the work orders that I have assigned for me today. And really before I leave my maintenance shop, my office, we always try to guide the user through a flow. This flow is highlighted with the blue button as we described it. So before I leave the office, I can go there, I can check, okay, what are the materials and tools that I need really to perform my work today? And I can use these as a quick checklist here to say, okay, I have really everything that is required to perform my work order. Back to my work list, another thing that we use a lot is really what we call touch points. These little circles here, which are nothing but shortcuts. Even before getting to the details of this work order, I can click on one of these little icons here to do something about this work order. So I had really all the lists of materials and tools that I need for our work orders, but I can click on the first one and really look, okay, this is really the ones that I need to perform this work in particular. I can record work logs at any time saying, okay, I can start working on this one. As an example, if I can use like speech to text from my device, that is also supported as well. Meter readings, at any point in time, I can click here, see what were the previous meter readings in my asset or location that is associated to this work order, but also update them here. I can say that now pressure is 70 here as an example, the oil color is brown, and this gets recorded back to Maximo, really to be used by condition monitoring, preventive maintenance, and so on. I can change the status from here at any point in time to whatever the status I am allowed to show. And finally here, the map visualization. So today we are really using a demo instance from Esri that is actually not working. We noticed that before, but this is gonna look like this. So we can really switch here from a list view to a map view and have really pinpoints, different symbologies about the work that I'm supposed to do. So let's follow the blue button flow here. Oops. Let me click to start work order, and mobile can be configured really to have a start work order option, or really to start a timer transaction as needed. And really depending on my configuration, I can also enable travel with my mobile tool. In other words, if I am far from the location where this work is supposed to happen, uh, I will have an option here to start travel. And start traveling means that I can, sorry, I can really open whatever is the navigation tool that I have in my device, Waze, Google Maps, Apple Maps, to really get me to that destination. So here we have really the details of these work order. So right away here, you see that the upper section here, we have all the details when the work was scheduled to happen, durations, etc. Some of the same touch points as I presented before, the materials and tools. And in that case, I also have here the ability to create a material request if something perhaps is not in my list, as an example. And in the bottom here, we have some related asset information, such as my asset details, locations, images, the ability to use barcode scanning. So if I want to scan to filter the work order list that I have, or either to confirm that I'm really working on that asset, I can use barcode scanning for that. I have a little view here about the historical work that happened in the same asset and location, really to give me more insights. And in the bottom here, an attachment, any follow-up work order that is not available, or if I want to create for this work order, I can come here and create it. Let's jump to the flow here. I have a list of tasks that I have to execute in this work order. And tasks are presented more as a checklist. So I can really, at any point in time, say that this is completed, that's completed, the other one is completed, up to the moment where I have a different one here. A different touch point was presented to me. And this is actually an inspection that I have to perform. Being an inspection form, we have that capability as a work center before that allows you to create and define like a list of items that you have to check, what are the expected responses for each, and what you were expected to do actually in case if you find some of these particular responses. In this case here, I created like a pump inspection as an example, just to give you the idea. So with the inspection form, you can really define, okay, these are really instructions that apply to the inspection that you are performing. And I can also configure what we call conditional questions. So if I say any signs of leaks, yes, I can pop up another question asking, okay, what are the type of leaks that perhaps you have? If I respond others, another question can pop up and say, okay, CO is actually broken. As an example, I can take a photo here at any point in time and add to this record, as well as to see previous responses about the same inspection at the same asset previously. So I can see here September it was failing, August it was failing as well. And this history comes back to my device, so I can really use this information for further analysis. I can continue recording these, so connections are secure, no corrosion, low vibration, normal temperature, noise level, high, and that can pop up a message to me saying, okay, you have to do something in that condition. And this also applies not just to text responses, I would say, but also for numeric ones. I can create the same conditions to say, okay, it's too slow now, it's normal. Maybe when it's too slow, maybe forced to take a photo and so on. So it's highly configurable what you can do. And you can start with inspections today. Inspections is available since Maximo 7609 as a work center, and it is now extended to Maximo Mobile to also be supported in offline mode. So let me finalize here. I can navigate and see, okay, what's still to do in my form, what are the items that still required for me to complete, and I can see that I have to collect a signature here from my supervisor. And now I can really complete this inspection and really get back to my tasks. At the end of the inspection, based on my responses, you see we can recommend actions. I can create a work order really for the responses that I found here and get back to the list. So finally here, my task is complete, other task is complete, and done. Before completing this work order, maybe my asset was down. I have to report, say, okay, now my asset is back up. So any kind of asset availability calculation, mean time between failures, and so on, can use this information. And before completing the work here, I have a few options. I have really to report any associated cost to this work order or any failure that perhaps can be logged to these work order records. So if I'm really using failure report, I can say, okay, it was a low pressure, warm housing, and I end up replacing it. If I have timer active, this would be created automatically for me. If I don't have, I can say, okay, I started this work actually 10:21 and I spend like 2 minutes to complete it. I can fill this record for a task as needed. And the same capability is also available for materials. I can either check from my reservations that was associated to this work order, the ones that apply, and tools that perhaps I used as part of this work. So any large tool, truck, etc. that I have to charge for this work can be also logged against this work order. And then I can complete this work. And Maximo Mobile can be configured to force you to do a signature based on the status that you are changing. So some customers might require you to sign that work before you start or sign it out before you finish and so on. So in a quick view, that was really Maximo Mobile. You didn't notice, but even between the multiple modules that we have here, we jumped from my schedule to materials to inspections, and we also have service request, inventory counting, uh, and we are having also another new release by the end of next month that will include also the ability to visualize asset details. So this is really a platform that is intended to scale as a single application, and more important, as any other Maximo functionality that we have here, it is really intended to be configurable. Configurable means that we, IBM, are providing you the tools that you can use to configure what you want to see as part of Maximo Mobile. So with Maximo Mobile, we actually provide you a configuration tool. And a configuration tool, first time, it will really ask me, okay, what is my user, what is my password, or if I'm using an API key to get there, I can use it to see, okay, what are really the mobile features that are running in this environment that I can configure. And configure means something similar to what we have in Maximo as an application designer. I can change the layout, I can change the content, I can create a new version of that application for a different need. And as I mentioned before, everything is driven out of Maximo security. In this example here, if I bring back the navigator page here, you see that I have a few applications that I've been working with some other customers that have different needs. And don't get me wrong, I don't know of any Maximo user that is using Maximo as is out of the box. Maximo is intended to be configurable, and some customers might add information that they need to be collected as they create a work order. And if I'm allowing someone to create that work order from mobile, they will also need the same capability. So taking here one example that I did using the configuration tool, and this is a little bit of the IT side here. We have initially an XML that can be changed to define, okay, what is really the content that I'm seeing? What is the data that I'm returning from my Maximo to be stored in the mobile device? So these are really things that would go uh, to Maximo as an integration. We call it a data source. And a data source, for example, is nothing but a query. Okay, I'm really returning from my work order detail API that we have in Maximo, work order number, description, asset location. These are really things that I'm really displaying inside the application. If I want more information, I just need to add, as I did here, person group, job plans for this example, and include that in the pages, for example, that I need to collect that data. In this example here, we have a create work order page where we added the same attributes. And we also ask the user to enter a work group and job plan as they are creating a work order. So I did these changes and I actually created a copy of the technician application by default. So you can really create kind of a clone as we had in Maximo to create your own version for that app. And really, as I open the application, I have three major options here. Preview. Preview would give me the ability to see these applications really running in a browser. So if I hit preview here, it will create a version of this application and it will display to me as a web version. So the same thing that I was seeing inside mobile, I'm seeing here from the web side, and I can use these as a runtime here to test the configurations that I did to see how they look like. So this might take a while here, 2-3 minutes to complete, but really going through that flow, once I complete all the changes that I have to do, all I have to do is hit publish. Once I hit publish, the next time that my users will log in to Maximo, they will see the changes if they have permissions to. And if there are changes on something that already existed before, they will get those changes published to their devices automatically. So from an IT perspective, I don't have really to worry about distributing applications. Once I hit publish there, Maximo Mobile will take care of that for me. Just to wrap up here, the examples that I did. So for this one here, I created a create work order LABH as an example. That was really the configuration that I did. This customer is always asking the users to enter priority. So we've made that required. We've made description. Oops. We've made descriptions required as well here as another one, as well as work group and job plans. So as part of the configuration capabilities, we added the ability to select a work group here, to select a job plan. And once I hit, oh, and location was also another thing that they required. So I can say, okay, let's use FedEx here as an example and create this work order. So once it gets to the server, it will have all this information populated because this customer actually required that information. Another example that we did here, just to wrap up, we are almost at the top of the hour here, the inspection capability that I just presented before. We had another customer here that provided us some feedback about what they want their inspector to see. So the same instructions that we presented before with schematics and all, they want to be able to see that in a full page. So it was a simple change that we did there, as well as they get to historical data, they want to see not just the previous responses, but also previous work orders that were created for that same failure that they report coming from an inspection form. So once again, Maximo Mobile is highly configurable. We have customers really using this in many, many different ways, similar to Maximo. You can change, you can adjust it to your business process. And as a platform, it's expected to grow. If there is something, and this was a question that I got during the session yesterday, if there is something that is not here really available here, there is nothing that would prevent you from creating a mobile version for that. We have a customer that created, for example, a purchase approvals app using the configuration tool. So those are really capabilities that you can do using the Maximo mobile product. So we are at the top of the hour here. My name is listed around this session. My contact information is also there. So at any time, and we are really at the bottom of the hour here, anytime, any questions, feel free to reach out to us by mail or through the contact information available in the in the user group for any additional questions. And this is really my email information for reference if you need it. So that's pretty much what we have to share. So thanks everybody for attending. The recording will be really posted in the event links later. And anytime, feel free to reach out to us for any additional questions. Thank you all for attending. Bye-bye.